I'm a 29-year-old woman, and about 3 months ago, I got engaged to my boyfriend of 3 years, Ethan. He's 31, works as a data analyst, and has always been a calm, grounded guy. We've lived together for about a year now, and after everything we've been through, getting engaged felt like the natural next step. We wanted to keep things simple, so we invited a few family members over for dinner, my parents, my cousin Rachel, and my Aunt Lydia. Nothing fancy, just a nice evening to celebrate. From the minute they walked through the door, I could tell something was off. Rachel hugged me with that tight smile she always uses when she's pretending to be supportive. Lydia handed me a bottle of wine, commented that the label looked cheaper than she expected, and walked in without waiting for a response. I chalked it up to nerves or bad moods. But it didn't stop there. Over dinner, Ethan talked about how he proposed during a weekend hike and how we'd started looking at venues. Lydia cut in with a sharp already and raised her eyebrows like she was surprised we weren't just dating casually. Rachel jumped in too, asking if we'd at least waited a respectable amount of time before moving in together. My parents just sat there. No one defended us. No one told them to back off. When I stepped into the kitchen to grab dessert, I overheard Lydia whisper to Rachel, "She's always been naive about men, just like her mother." They both laughed, and that laugh felt like something I hadn't heard in a while. Familiar, but never directed at me. More like about me. It wasn't the first time I'd picked up on that tone from them. Rachel's been the family favorite since we were kids. Lydia helped her get her first job, pulled strings to get her into a competitive internship, and even paid for part of her study abroad trip. Meanwhile, I was the artsy one who needed to get a real job. Every accomplishment I had growing up, winning design competitions, getting hired straight out of college, running my own freelance business, Rachel always found a way to make it seem less. And now, apparently Ethan was next on their list. At one point during dinner, Lydia brought up how she'd heard Ethan used to work at a pharmaceutical company and asked why he left. Ethan explained it was a layoff, downsizing during a merger, but Lydia gave this little hum and said, "That's what they all say." Rachel then leaned in with a smug look and asked if I knew about the girl from accounting Ethan used to talk to. I looked at her confused and she shrugged like she was doing me a favor. Ethan stayed calm the entire time, even when it was clear the questions were meant to corner him. After everyone left, he told me he felt like he'd just walked into an interview for a job he didn't apply for. I tried to brush it off, told him my family just had strong personalities and probably needed time. But deep down, I knew this wasn't about being cautious. It was targeted. Growing up, Rachel had a habit of bringing up embarrassing things at family gatherings, like the time I failed my driving test or when a guy I liked ghosted me. She always made it seem like she was just being funny. Now, it's Ethan she's circling, and I could see it clearly for the first time. Lydia made a big deal before leaving. She looked me straight in the eye and said, "Don't let romance blind you, sweetheart. The wrong man ruins everything." It wasn't advice. It was a warning, and not a subtle one. I asked my mom later if she thought Ethan gave off any red flags. She paused, then said Lydia was probably just being protective, that she had good intentions. But she didn't actually answer the question. And I noticed how she didn't stop Lydia at the dinner, didn't step in when Rachel got personal. It was the kind of silence that speaks volumes. Ethan's always been private about his past relationships, and I've respected that. But suddenly, with all their little comments hanging in the air, I started wondering if I'd missed something. Like maybe not knowing why he left his old apartment wasn't just a detail, it was a blind spot. Not because I thought he was lying, but because they were planting those doubts deliberately. That's when I decided to stop ignoring it. I didn't want to accuse anyone or start a fight, but I needed to start paying attention. Not just to Ethan